Hello, my dear students. Welcome back to SUS College Bantola online classes. Today, we are going to study about the continuation part of collection and organization of data. That is chapter 2nd. This is for first PU economics students. This is the part 2 of my video. The part 1 I did in the last class under chapter 2. My name is Sachin Kumar. I am from Department of Economics, SVS PU College Bantola. In the last class, we have studied about the primary data. So what do you mean by primary data? Just for the glance, I am saying the investigator collecting the information by inquiry or investigation directly. Here he is collecting the information by himself or by for the first time. He is collecting the information for the first time. Then only it can be called as primary data. Here he is going to collect the information by himself, or he is not going to get the information which is already collected by someone else. He is going to collect the information for the first time. It is called as first-handed information or first-handed data. Then only we can call it as a primary data. It is called as primary data. Okay, there are three ways of collecting primary data. Those are personal interview method, mailing questionnaire method, and telephone interview method. I will tell you again, there are three ways of collecting primary data. Three ways means there are three methods of collecting primary data. Those are personal interview method, mailing questionnaire method, telephone interview method. I will explain all this to you one by one. What do you mean by personal interview method? You can think meeting him personally, as its name says, personally meeting the respondent. Personal interview method. It means directly directly investigator is going to meet the respondents to get the data. Investigator collect the data personally. As I said, collecting the data by meeting the respondents personally. Here, investigator and the respondents are having face-to-face contact. Face-to-face contact. And this technique, the personal interview method, is most commonly used method. It is most commonly used from many years. This method is very famous and followed by many people, many organizations. Why it is like that? Why everyone are following this? Because most of the time it is free from errors. Why it is free from errors? Because I will tell you why. Imagine that one person came near to you. He is the investigator, and you are the respondents. He will ask you some questions, and you are going to give him answers. By sitting in front of him, you will not lie. You will give correct answers, right? So it is called as free from errors. And also, in some other methods, the questions may be very tough. It will not be very precise. It will be not understood by everyone. So such cases will be there. But here, interviewer will explain the questions clearly to you. If you fail to understand the questions, you can ask him directly. Sorry, I did not get the question. Can you explain this question? Like that, you can ask. Then he is going to explain the question. This is how the personal interview method works. And the disadvantage is if the samples are more. If the samples means the respondents are more. If you are going to study for a large part of population, then it takes more time. It consumes more time. And it is the disadvantage. And also, I forgot to say, the another advantage is the investigator can get answer clearly to any questions because he is sitting in front of him. He will not divert the things. He will not accept the answers which is not relevant to the questions. So he will get exact answers from the respondents because he is sitting in front of him. And also, supplementary information can also be collected. for the particular study, for the particular questionnaire, you may want uh, supplementary information. It can be only collected when you are sitting in front of him, when you are having face to face contact. And also flexibility in restructuring the questions. You can make changes in the questionnaires. If you want to make any changes according to the situation, according to the respondents, you can make changes, because you are asking questions by from you only. It is not written or it is not pre-printed. You are going to ask oral. It's like oral questions. The another advantage is the response rate will be very higher, because as I said, the respondents are giving directly the answers, so response rate is very higher. Here we can avoid misinterpretation and we can avoid misunderstanding also. Misunderstandings can avoided, as I said, by clearly stating the questions, and misinterpretation also can be avoided by saying him to answer him again. If the answer is not relevant, tell him, and we are going to tell him that, can you please answer again, because it's not relevant to the subject. Like that we are going to tell. As I said, disadvantages. One disadvantage I already said. Sorry. Okay. One disadvantage is, if samples are more, it takes more time, because we are having personal meeting. So if the samples are more, it takes more time. And also it is costly little bit, because each and every respondents you have to meet him personally. He may be from different locality, different country. You may have to incur transport costs, something and all. So it may be little costly to you. And his presence, the investigator's presence, will restrict the answers, because sometimes he will not say the answers blindly. If you are sitting in front of investigator, sometimes you will not say the answers blindly. You will think twice before answering to the any questions. You may change the answers. You may alternate the answers. Something cases may occur in the personal interview method. Okay, this is about personal interview method. Hope you got it. Next one is mailing questionnaire method. How the mailing questionnaire method is conducted? What do you mean by mailing questionnaire? It is posting the questionnaire method by using post, something like that. It's not emailing. Emailing means it will be electronic mailing. Here we are using mailing questionnaire method. A list of questions pertaining to the inquiry is prepared and sent to various informants by post. Remember this. Here there will be a list of questions in the on sheet, and there will be spaces also for their respondents' answers. It will be sent to the respondents or informants by post. The questionnaire contains questions and provides space for answers. As I said, the questionnaire which contains questions and also they provide spaces for answers. A request is made to informants through a covering letter. There, one covering letter will be there outside of that questionnaire, containing to fill up information about fill up in questionnaire and send it back within a specified time. Here, investigator or interviewer will give you a particular specified time. Within this date, you have to finish this and you have to send it back to us. Like this in covering letter will be there. The information will be mentioned in the covering letter. So you have to, the respondents has to send the questionnaire back to them within that specified time. While preparing the questionnaires, while mailing the questionnaires, you have to follow some features while preparing questionnaire method. Those are, questionnaire should be short. As you know, you will be not ready to answer if the question is too big. you will not get the motivation to answer that question. That will be the problem. So the questions what the investigator has sent should be very less, right? This is what everyone expects. If it is very less, everyone will actively answer that question, because it should encourage to answer. It should not discourage to answer the question. And the sub questionnaire should move from general to particular, not from particular to general. Like if you are going to study about the LPG distribution in your area, LPG gas, so you should not directly go and ask that you are going to buy a LPG at what price. You should not ask questions like that. You should ask, do you have LPG? From where you, from what date you are using LPG, and what's the amount you are paying for the LPG? Like that you should ask. It's like general to particular, from whole to particular. You should not directly come to particular topic. And third point is precise and clear questions. The questions should not be ambiguous. You should be very clear with the questions. The questions should not mislead the respondents. You should be able to answer those questions very easily. The the words you use should be very easy. It should not be very tough words. You should use very easy words. They should enable the respondents to answer quickly and clearly. The questions should enable the respondents to answer very quickly and clearly. This is only possible when the questions are very precise and clear. Next point is avoiding biased questions. You should not use biased questions. It's like it's double negatives. There you are using wouldn't you, couldn't you, why can't you, don't you, like that words you should not use. You should directly ask the questions. You should not use such words. And the next point is avoiding leading questions. If you use leading questions, it will give clue to the respondents. It's like in which way he has to answer. He will get the clue. So you should not use leading questions. And there shouldn't be alternate to the answers. For one particular question, there should be only one particular answer that he has to give. There should not be two particular answers. There should not be chance of giving two particular answers. Such should not be the case. The one question means there should be only one answer. Now, questions may be consisting of closed-ended questions and open-ended questions. This is what I given here: closed-ended questions and open-ended questions. The questionnaire may consist of closed-ended questions and open-ended questions. What do you mean by closed-ended questions? Closed-ended questions are of two types, that is yes or no and multiple choice questions. Multiple choice questions are also called as MCQ. MCQ. It is also called as MCQs. And two-way questions, another one is, it is yes or no. Under closed-ended questions, you will have only two options. One is yes or no. They will question you like, would you like to go to the college? Do you want mobile phone? Like that. There will be answer will be yes or no, nothing else. So it is called as two-way questions. Multiple choice questions means they will give you a question and they will give you a choice of 4 or 5, like that. So there you are having multiple choice questions, but you are going to answer only for one answer, only for one choice. It is called multiple choice questions. And sometimes multiple choice are advantage because you can answer very faster and you can reach them very faster. And disadvantage is, it's like they have given one fence. You should answer within that. You should not go beyond that. If your answer is different from that, you are not having option to answer because you are having only 4 to 5 choices. This is a disadvantage of multiple choice questions. And another one is open-ended questions. Under closed-ended questions, we have two-way questions and multiple choice questions. Under open-ended questions, what we study is it allows respondents to answer in open text format. This is like, here you don't have any choice or option like multiple choice questions or two-way questions. You are going to answer by text, by you are going to write the answer. Like in your exams you are going to answer for 5 marks, 10 marks, like that. You have to answer here in open-ended questions. I can give you one example for open-ended question. That is, what is your opinion regarding public distribution system? That is ration, what you are getting from ration store for BPL card holders below poverty line. What is your opinion? Write it in 2 or 4 sentences, like that. These are the examples for open-ended questions. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages of this method? The mailing questionnaire, what I said. What are the advantages and disadvantages of this method? Let us study one by one. Okay, first we see advantages. It is easy to access people of remote areas. If you are living in remote areas where you don't have network, then it is easy for you, because they can reach you by questionnaire, by posting that. And next one, investigator cannot influence the respondents. If we are going to sit in front of the investigator, he may influence our answers. It's like he may change our answers unknowingly. But here, investigator cannot influence the respondents' answers. Adequate time to give thoughtful answers. For respondents, this is more important. We should give him more time as well as thoughtful answers to answer thoughtfully. The answer should not be from somewhere else. He is going to give his own answers only when he is having lots of time. Next one is disadvantages. Low response rate. Sometimes the respondents will not answer for these questionnaires properly. That's why the low response rate it is called as. The respondent should be educated and cooperative. For this, the respondent should be able to understand and read that questionnaire. You may getting that. He should be able to understand, and also he should be able to learn the questionnaire, whatever the language is. It is the slowest method of data collection. It takes time. As I said here, questionnaire is sent through mail. So it has to reach the respondents. The respondent has to write the answers for that, and again he has to send back to the investigator. So it will take huge time. So it is slowest method of data collection. And the next method of or ways of collecting primary data is telephone interviews. We can also collect the data primarily from telephone interviews. How? In this method, interview is done over the telephone. By mobile phone, telephone, whatever it is, we are going to get the information, or interviewer is going to ask some questions by using phone. As we know, it is cheaper and flexible. Why it is flexible, why it is cheaper? As you know, if the interviewer is going to ask questions from his region to your region, which may be very far, if he has to reach you, means he may have to incur transport cost, but he is not going to incur transport cost because he is directly calling you by using mobile phone. And also flexible, he can call and he can get the information very quickly. It is more flexible. It can be conducted in a short time with a small staff. For this method, it doesn't require more time. It can be conducted under particular time short span of time, and also staff required for telephone interview is very less. Next point is faster than other methods, and responses are also high. As you know, it is very faster. When you compare with the previous ones, the telephone interview is very faster, and response rate is also very high. They will give responses immediately. Next one, little time to think. The disadvantage that we have here is little time to think. For the respondents, they are not getting enough time to think. As you know, you have to give answers very quickly, and it is restricted only to the persons who are using mobile phones. So investigator can't reach everyone. He can reach only the person who is using mobile phones, telephones, whatever it is. He can only reach them. So it is also a drawback. And next one is reactions cannot be sensed over the phones. As we know, if you are sitting in front of the investigator, or if I am the investigator, if you are sitting in front of me, I can make out the changes in your face while asking questions. But in telephone interviews, it is not possible. Next one is difficult to obtain information regarding sensitive issues. It is more required. In sensitive issues, the reaction is more important, the expression is more important than the answers. So you will not get clear information regarding sensitive issues. This is about the telephone interviews, and the next one and the last one of today's class is pilot survey. What do you mean by pilot survey? Pilot survey means pre-testing of the questionnaire with a small group is known as pilot survey. Imagine that you have prepared a questionnaire. So now you are going to test that whether it is right or wrong, whether it is suitable for my work or not. Like that you are going to test it. So it is called as pre-testing. Before the survey you are going to test, so it is called as pre-testing. Here we call it as a pilot survey. It is important for 2 marks. Please make this point. Pilot survey means pre-testing of the questionnaire with a small group. Here small group means we are going to test our questionnaire, the set of questions. Questionnaire means here set of questions. It is containing on 10 to 15 questions. Then only it can be called as questionnaire with a small group. Small group means it's a respondents group. With them we are going to test our questionnaire. It is called as pilot survey. Why we are going to do this? To understand the shortcomings or drawbacks of the questionnaire. If you do this work, you will understand what is the shortcomings, or what are the problems involved in my questionnaire, what are the changes needed in my questionnaire. So you can make changes based on these respondents' answers. You will get to know about the drawbacks which is containing in your questionnaire. It helps to assess the suitability of questions, whether the questions that you have used is proper, is correct. It can be understood with the help of pilot survey. And also it also helps to access the cost and time involved in the actual survey. Imagine that you are going to make a survey for 1,000 respondents. Here you have taken only 100 respondents or something. For example, I am saying 100 respondents. So you can calculate after questioning, after conducting the survey survey with 100 respondents, that for 100 respondents I have used this much of time. So for 1,000 respondents I may have to spend this much of time, and also this much of cost I may have to spend, because I have used this much of cost for 100 respondents. You will get clear knowledge about the survey by using pilot survey, by making pilot survey. This is about pilot survey. Today we are going to wind up this session, and today we have studied about primary data, and in that we have studied about personal interview method, the basic ways of collecting primary data. Basic ways of collecting primary data means how we are going to collect the primary data. One is personal interview method, mailing questionnaire method, and telephone interview method. These are the basic methods of collecting primary data. Thank you, my dear students. Meet you in the next class.